Atelier Marie, the Alchemist of Salburg, originally released on the PlayStation in Japan in 1997, and it was the very first game released in the long-running Atelier series. It has received itself a remake this year and is about to release on the Nintendo Switch. Is it the remake we've been hoping for, or is it a failed experiment? Well, thank you to the publishing team for the review code, and now, let's find out. So in terms of story, you are introduced to Marie, the determined but struggling protagonist who faces academic challenges at the prestigious Royal Academy of Magic. Her teacher has assigned her an alchemy atelier as a graduation exam, which she must complete within 5 years. To triumph, Marie must sharpen her alchemy skills, procure synthesis materials, gather funds for reference books and tools, and enlist the aid of adventurers. So gameplay wise, this is an RPG that will see the player carrying out many activities in hopes of graduating within that 5-year deadline. From the get-go, the game will present the player with the option to play either in classic mode or unlimited mode. The latter will free players from that 5-year deadline, enabling individuals seeking a peaceful Atelier experience to play at their own pace. This review was carried out by playing the classic 5-year deadline version in order to try and get the most authentic experience, as well as to gauge the flow and difficulty of such a task. This remake maintains the simplicity of the original game while adding in improved tutorials and town navigation guidance, resulting in an enhanced overall gameplay experience that is comfortable and easy to pick up. With its relaxing RPG vibe, this game stands out from some others in the genre. Marie will be given a project to carry out by the Academy, and these vary in difficulty and demand, although many of these can be completed fairly quickly depending on how much you gather, explore and do overall. On one occasion I was expected to gather a specific amount of knowledge and completed the quest straight away, as I had surpassed the quota after playing for over 6 hours. It sounds like the flow of the game can be too easy, but your mileage may vary, and completing these compulsory tasks early meant having more time to explore and gather later. Time is the main commodity to manage here, as it affects the entire game. Days literally fall off the calendar as you carry out tasks such as returning to your atelier, travelling to and from places, and even gathering ingredients. Seeing how quickly time flows by does give the player a sense of urgency, but you'll soon figure out which activities require priority over others. Using the atelier in order to make anything will also require time, so it is best to plan out which items to create within a tight schedule. Some side quests will require specific concoctions to be delivered, but it is best to check if you have both the time and resources to successfully carry this out before embarking on such an endeavour. Unlike other games in the RPG genre, there are just a handful of items to buy. This is mainly to encourage the player to learn recipes and gather ingredients to bolster the healing and offensive items that can be used during your adventure. This mechanic, along with the time mechanic described earlier, may cause players to feel a tad rushed off their feet. Rest assured though, the game is very relaxing by nature, and the opportunity to create your own items is very rewarding. It invites the players to experiment too. My only issue is the lack of a more hands-on approach to synthesizing items. The process only requires the right amount of ingredients and a recipe, and Marie will chuck them all in the cauldron. A minigame of sorts, as seen in similar titles, would have possibly made the experience a bit more enjoyable. Side quests can be obtained by talking to the barkeep. Many of these side quests rotate after completion or failure to do so, and although it may sound like a negative, it will give you a second chance to deliver the goods and earn money and renown. As expected, money is needed to buy recipe books, alchemic equipment, and pay your companion's fee after venturing out. I found the big roster of companions pretty good, with your standard class-based heroes and ruffians alike. The more quests carried out together, the greater the bond, and the lower their hiring fee will become. There are also specific quests that offer decent rewards if completed properly. Each destination outside the city walls had a travel time, and random events on the way there varied from finding loot or encountering an ambush. Each biome on the world map boasts unique enemies and items to gather, with varying travel times required. Upon arrival, interact with the shiny gathering node whilst avoiding enemies, or simply activate the gather function by pressing the plus button. This feature is particularly useful if you require a large number of items specific to that region, as Marie will remain stationary and gather items or engage in enemy ambushes. The battle system is straightforward and effortless to comprehend. The player possesses the choice to modify the velocity of the turn-based fight and activate the auto battle function. Your 3-team party can attack, defend and carry out their signature special attack. I did feel the combat in the game took the back seat for the most part, only to engage when ambushed or as part of a side quest. The monster variation felt quite limited too. The straightforward yet versatile gameplay has been enhanced for this remake, with the adjustments made improving balance to both synthesis and battles. I do feel that things have been played a bit too safe in some areas though, particularly with the combat and the synthesizing of parts, although I did still enjoy my time with the game, and gameplay gets 15 out of 20. Controls are tight and responsive and do everything they need to do well, and certainly add to the experience overall, and they get 18 out of 20. In terms of visuals, Atelier Marie boasts an impressive look that breathes life into Marie herself and her crew. Fresh illustrations have been given to characters and events, and extra flair has been added with 2D animations. Fans will be delighted by the new 3D character models, I'm sure, and the stages too, as well as the level of charm that is given to the game world as a whole. I liked the look of the UI, and the still images used during cutscenes were a nice touch, owing to the fact that they were partially animated. I particularly liked how the terrain changed to reflect the in-game seasons. In terms of performance, I didn't encounter any frame drops or crashes at all during my playthrough. Moving on to the audio, and the game is fully voiced in Japanese, and the overall soundtrack is pleasant to listen to and fit into the game's genre and the artistic direction. Visuals do add a fresh coat of paint to a game that is almost 30 years old now, and they received 17 out of 20. Likewise, audio does a good job of matching the visuals and enhancing the overall feel of the package, and also gets 17 out of 20. Atelier Marie, The Alchemist of Salburg costs £39.99 and regional equivalents are on your screen now. The price point is not too bad considering how much care and attention has gone into every facet of this remake, and there is also a new game plus mode that will unlock on completion, and without wanting to give anything away, I will say that I did feel that this is a game that the developers intended to be played multiple times in order to unlock everything it has to offer. This is more of a cozy RPG, I would say, than a classic turn-based affair, and much of your time will be spent gathering, synthesizing and mingling with friends. The main game can be finished in about 10 hours give or take, with a chance to carry some but not all of your stuff over to the aforementioned New Game Plus, and I would say on the whole, value scores 17 out of 20. To conclude, having never experienced any of the Atelier games before, I am pleased to have experienced this remake of the very first game. I personally found the game pretty easy even when playing in its intended classic mode, even with that ever ticking deadline. It is however meant to be enjoyed at one's own pace and replayed a number of times in order to experience everything. A few more risky decisions could have made the game stand out even more, especially in this day and age, but it's fair to say that the developer has managed to add the right amount of quality of life improvement without tampering too much to the essence of the original title. I would say this one is a must for fans and a recommendation to those who are curious. Atelier Marie, The Alchemist of Salburg gets a SwitchUp score of 84%. Thank you everybody for watching this review, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do remember to leave a like if you did. A big thank you to Azdin of Grinning Games for writing this one for us. Please do check out his channel, there will be a link to it in the top pinned comment. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick this game up, you can get your eShop cards via our website, switchup.gg. You'll get 5% of your purchase back in cashback via our SwitchUp tokens, which you can then redeem, of course, against future purchases. But we also have a further 5% off in discount if you use the code SwitchUp until the end of July. There's also a link down there to Play Asia if you're looking to import any games, and this game in particular, as it stands at the moment, only has a physical release in that region, and you can pick it up using the link below, and if you use the code stated, you'll save yourself 5% off of your order. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.